Hi there, once again in lab, just creating, as you can see here from the comment, creating a cluster. The focus today is about talking about Anthos. Just waiting it to finish and feel completed the cluster creation. Refresh again, it's taking a couple of minutes. Okay, number of nodes already. It's getting completed. Yep. kubectl can I and now namespace. That's a command for checking the add cluster admin role-based access control. Okay, so I am the one who created it. So I can run all the commands over this cluster. Create cluster role binding. Let's create a service account. All right, good. I will assign a GKE hub connector to the service account. All the commands you should be checking. Now I'm going to create a key. And now we are going to use the file. Okay, to register. We are registering a key. Okay. It's a way to register a key out of the cluster. Something not usual, but it's possible. Then we will prepare to install the next step to install Anthos. Waiting for membership to be created. Okay, good. Next steps to install Anthos. You can do it occur. Okay. Install ASM. I will download the shop. GH mode for running that. So now we're gonna install Anthos. Take the command. We are going to enable the sidecar. Just put it up. So next step after Anthos service mesh uses sidecar proxies to enhance network security, reliability, and observability. With that, with the Anthos, of course, service mesh, these functions are abstracted. You can abstract already from applications primarily contained and implemented in a common out-of-process proxy delivered as a separate container in the same pod, I would say. Installing ASM control plane. You gotta know the difference of control plane and data plane. Alright. I'll try to do a no longer video. No longer than 10 minutes, but I think it's impossible without the tools. Since you have all the installations, if I don't put that, the people complain about where are those things. So enable the sidecar. Alright, so right here, what we go to do, we're gonna get into ASM. Well, there's no directory there. So inside that we have a Istio. I can get this under samples. The book info application. It's a pretty simple application. So all the things in YAMLs you can check on this folder. Once you install Istio, I can open the editor in another. Then I will show what we're going to do. So under ASM, Istio, samples. Add-ons are the open source stuff you can use for monitoring, login, tracing, and service mesh visualizer, which is GKE, and here under book info. It's book info, platform, cube, yeah. The one I check is book info, okay, book info, there we can apply that. We'll create all the services, etc., and create the front end as a load balancer again here. Here is the Istio Ingress gateway. Okay. So I have the product page that deploy as a cluster IP, so it's not accessible out of the cluster, outside of the cluster. Okay. So by default, you have an Istio. is to DASM Ingress Gateway. By default, our page. So what we have to do now, these components are not visualized under the cluster. Here are cloud services. Let me put it down a little bit. Because here you're going to create a virtual service, which is a virtualization of the service. So you have the service. This is the proxy of the service. You're going to have to create a gateway to externalize these to be accessible out of the cluster. So let's apply the Bookinfo gateway. We applied Bookinfo, which has all the service account deployment. We create the pods and the service as a proxy of the deployments. And now we did the Bookinfo gateway. Which is not on here, it's networking. Okay. I'm not going to go deep into this Easter stuff, but now we can access our application. That was delivered on 8080. So 80 is sorry. Product page, maybe it's that. Or it's lowercase. Alright, that's the address. Product page. Okay. The host destination, this is a service, this service. Probably have the service of product page. Here we go. And you can access this. You have 3 versions of reviews. Review with the stars, red stars, and with black stars. Okay. Let's change this red stars like this. Okay. Alright, we currently installed that. We can get all the pods here. And now I'm going to call a command. Remember, these EC2 components you cannot visualize under here. You have to use Kiali to see that. We're not going on that component today. So here I'm just calling the product ratings, the rating service, and getting this answer, the product page, okay. Like the up ratings, okay. Calling this product page, these address. You can call the service here directly by this alias deployment name, this deployment service name, the service name. So here there's this port was deployed, so we have also the product page. So this is a way to call it by the command. You can get the gateway, the STO stuff. You can get the VS, the virtual service. You can get the Ingress gateway. All the ports I work on. So let's export the IP address of it. Then you can cur answer. I will open another page. I will call it a 4. Create some stuff. It's gonna be calling just something to generate some traffic. We have already the product page. And I'm going to open another one and install Siege. I will also get this. Install it Siege. Let's see the answers. Okay, install it Siege. And we're going to evaluate that to the service mesh. Here it's going to be calling. Okay, I can even open another one. Here install Siege for keep the traffic. So when we go to Anthos, minimize that a little bit. Service mesh. Oh, that's not pre-configured. Under the dashboard, let's enable. That should be already fine. Let's configure that. Alright, I have a cluster. I don't want to create another cluster since I have one. I have this one. And right here, it should be already fine. Okay. Because there's no servers are connected, creator are connected. So, okay. Can be back here, clusters. Let's see, can register a cluster. It's unregister add external cluster. So that's not that what we wanted. Let's be back here. There's no mistake in that dashboard. There's nothing here on even on typology. There's nothing. I'm gonna have to register that. Your trial has ended. Very good. Maybe we cannot show that because of this trial. Even if it's installed, set up config management. Next. There's nothing to register. The cloud runs, not in our case. So we have it registered. All clouds are healthy. Okay. Fine. But if I go to dashboard, I should see the services. The problem trial has ended. Thank you so much for this. Okay, this should take us to check all the servers here, but not loads. Not they are not connected. So this is another thing. It's another problem of our Anthos, since everything was right created, but there's a thing of pricing. I will check here if I have on a cluster. If I click here, down. Let's see, manage the features. Everything's available. Okay. Because if I go to service mesh, I should see all the things here. I cannot register our cluster. View clusters. I go to clusters. Okay. Now let's back to Anthos. Everything should be already visible. This is the case. The lab's gonna end here because I'm gonna investigate this trial thing about also pricing. So we cannot use we could install that for our cluster, etc. But I cannot be using that. This keeps calling. Okay. No servers are created to connect. Gonna have to register that. Because if you go to Anthos, you should have a register existing cluster. We don't see that. There's no page of that here. Wherever you are, you should have a register existing cluster. We don't have that. Okay, register existing cluster. Okay. Where is the button? Register. Unregister. It's in beta. Okay. There's, you see, register existing cluster. You cannot even see. There's no, you cannot register that cluster. I have no idea why. Let me check here what there's a problem. Won't be stopped for that. It's already done. This was done before. There's no keypad. I did that right. There's no such thing you need to do it for registering that. I didn't check this config pack. nearly strange. If I register, it's something I already did before. Like I have here the command, which is this we have here. Oh, we don't have, we have it right here. Have the, let's be back here. This is a kind of a register, the cluster. There's a problem on this creation of this cluster. Since you have a cluster, you can register here and check all the things you have inside the cluster. You can see as a service mesh right here. The problem is we're not able to register it. Here we'll close. Registering cluster. Perfect. So if I come in here, I should see to register the cluster. This is the thing. You're gonna have to see that in another time. Let's see if I can add an external one. Okay. Well, there are a couple of things I did with Anthos with the word not without this noise. By the way, we could install the Anthos and the application running here. The fact is that there's a problem in our cluster. I will investigate that and let you guys know. Since it's already registered, since right now I read double time. By the way, thanks for watching. You could see the download that and install an application and checking the workloads and services. Also, we use the use virtual service and gateway. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.